Hello and welcome to another edition of Simply Electric featuring the brand new and exciting Hyundai Ioniq 9. Let's take a closer look at it together, examining it from both the outside and the inside. Before the first opportunity to take this vehicle for a drive becomes available in just a few weeks. And then we will of course deliver to you the detailed driving report of the Hyundai Ioniq 9. Today it's about the exterior, interior, technical data and options for you. This impressive vehicle could quite possibly be yours by the summer of 2025. I'd say let's not waste any time. Check to see if you're already part of the Drive Electric community. We'd appreciate your support with a sub if not yet. It's free for you, but it definitely helps us keep showcasing the latest electric cars. Let's start with the Hyundai Ioniq 9. And as always, we'll begin from the outside, starting with the front. Let's take a closer look at the front section of the brand new Hyundai Ioniq 9. You can definitely see how the design language of Hyundai continues beautifully and seamlessly here in the front section with those pixel LEDs. A bit more modern, a bit more peppy, maybe slightly reminiscent of earlier Land Rover designs, it gives a fresh new dimension and incorporates high-tech features, which means the radar sensor is cleverly and very discreetly well hidden behind this piece of plastic right here. The camera for the 360-degree system, and since this is a purely electric vehicle, we naturally have vent flaps here, which you can open and close for thermal management as needed. When we take a closer look at the headlights, we can see that matrix LED headlights are cleverly concealed here. In the top variant that is offered as an option, you'll have the ability to precisely illuminate certain areas or ensure that oncoming traffic isn't dazzled by the lights. When we move to the side a bit, you can actually see just how truly massive and incredibly huge the new Hyundai Ioniq 9 really is. But how brilliantly the Hyundai designers have managed to integrate these 5 S's into the design, making this car feel fast, sleek, smart, and absolutely charming in my view. For one, I really appreciate that we finally see wheel arches painted in the same color as the car. If that doesn't suit your taste, you can also get it in gloss black. I find it notably more stylish. Additionally, I believe that this little design line genuinely gives the entire thing an exquisite final touch. The aerodynamically optimized spoke wheels certainly look great too, featuring a beautiful glossy black design with some areas that are high gloss polished. This is fitting, considering we're driving the flagship model from Hyundai here. And naturally, quality always takes precedence over quantity. Yes, it's a lovely metallic green, not too dark, yet not bright or light either. Exactly in between. You really need to be here right now and see live how amazing it looks. And at last, we finally got dark chrome, not just that usual anodized chrome finish you constantly see. This is truly a beautiful dark chrome that extends along here. It might even have a subtle anthracite appearance. You can also see this style somewhat echoed in the flat roof railing just above. And here, in the top variant, we even have the digital exterior mirrors. I'm curious to see what you think of them. Do you think that's cool or maybe not so cool? We would love to hear your opinions, so please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And if Stefan turns the camera around completely 180 degrees, you'll see how the Hyundai designers have bent the metal here. Because this is not an optical illusion, the car actually gets wider here, wider towards the rear axle, wider to the rear, making it a bit more imposing, a bit more powerful. And here too, they have beautifully matched the rear wheel arches to the front ones. I must say it's incredibly brilliant. If Stefan steps back a bit, you'll see where the car reaches its highest point, which is exactly here behind the B-pillar. And then it beautifully slopes down, which I think makes the car look significantly more elongated and sleeker. But still, when you see the rear in a moment, it remains incredibly performance-oriented because it has those flared wheel arches that we usually associate with sporty cars. Spotting limousines. And at the back, it almost looks like the rear is slightly lowered due to the graceful drop in the roofline, and that makes him seem quick, sleek, smart, and charming. 5 times S, right? I'm not even sure if I can manage to fit the entire vehicle length of 5.06 meters into the frame with just my arms here. It might just work if I step a little bit closer. It's truly an impressively large size, quite remarkable indeed. And when you hear the width of 1.98 meters plus exterior mirrors, the digital ones seem very, very slim. I believe that once he has the analog ones, he extends beyond 2.20 meters in width. You know, I'm 1.85 meters tall. And at its highest point, the Ioniq 9 measures 1.79 meters tall, so you should hopefully fit quite nicely into all parking garages. The wheelbase is 3.13 meters, and in between, you always have a 110 kilowatt-hour battery pack on board in every variant, from which you can, I believe, draw 106 kilowatt-hours net, because Hyundai doesn't disclose that information. Naturally, we did some investigative research and landed on these numbers. I'm eagerly waiting to see if you can verify them or if you might have to adjust them. The curb weight stands at 2,750 kilograms in the top performance variant, and it comes in 3 different drive configurations. Firstly, it is purely rear-wheel drive with 160 kilowatts and 218 horsepower, which serves as the base model, and it also includes the large battery pack. And with that set up, he will likely achieve the maximum range possible. If you think, well, that's a bit too little for my liking, then you have the option to also get a second electric motor to have it as an AWD. With an additional 70 kilowatts, providing you with a total of 230 kilowatts or 313 horsepower of system power. If you say, no, Ollie, sorry, but I really want to go all out here, then of course you can have more than 70 kilowatts at the front instead. 2 times 160 kilowatts, so a total of 320 kilowatts, 430 horsepower, and then the acceleration from 0 to 100 is in 5.2 seconds. The other variants, I think, are 6.7 seconds and 7.9 or 8.9 seconds, though I'm not quite sure. Just take a look, in any case it goes, and I find that really awesome. 200 kilometers per hour at the peak. And that surely pleases the German drivers, that if you want to, time and the leisure, plus enough energy in the tank so you can really enjoy pushing it nice and smoothly along. But just imagine if it was again limited to 160, 180 kilometers and then a 70s VW Golf overtakes you on the left. And what I almost forgot, in the heat of the moment, is of course the charging port and the charging performance. By the way, this is a pre-production vehicle and somehow the colleagues before us have been a bit rough. Here, the charging flap has been tampered with. You can actually open it up electrically and also close it electronically. Dear Stefan, please come a little closer for a better look. Here we have the Type 2 port for 3-phase AC charging at up to 11 kilowatts. Then we're looking at a minimum of 10 hours from completely empty to fully charged. I would really wish Hyundai would offer a 22 kilowatt charger as an option to potentially halve that time. DC is of course also charged via the CCS connection. With the Ioniq facelift models, they can handle 260 kilowatts peak. I could envision that Hyundai might add a bit more to the Ioniq 9 considering the larger size of the battery pack. Perhaps around 280 kilowatts, let's wait and see. In any event, at the suitable charging station, it should reach from 10 to 80% in just 24 minutes. And of course, always year-round, because the battery pack is also preconditioned for the relevant route and charging plan via BlueLink in the infotainment system that we plan to review together again later. We've seen that Hyundai produces exceptionally well-thought-out electric vehicles, particularly highlighted by the Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 6, and of course the Kona Electric. In any situation, the Ioniq 9 comes with at least a capacity of 52 liters, if not more. Frank volume on board, then with the all-wheel drive versions, you have the purely rear-wheel drive variant. The front electric motor is missing, and Hyundai even offers you 88 liters of storage volume. That's more than decent and really, really awesome. By the way, I forgot to mention, you also get vehicle to load with the battery pack, so if you ever need that, you know it from Hyundai. If you want to power certain things with electricity, plug it in, and then there's vehicle to load, yes. Nicely separated, insulated hood fan as it should be, premium. And now we definitely want to hear how an Ioniq 9 Korean hood sounds, right, Stefan?
All right, starting the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go.
Start. Let's move on to the trunk area, specifically the rear trunk. And in that respect, Hyundai does indeed provide a smart tailgate system. This means that when the car is locked and you approach it with the key in your pocket, it will beep twice if you prefer, and then the trunk will automatically open electrically for you. We'll go ahead and do this manually for you guys and take a closer look at just how much available space there is in the 6-seater version. You can get it optionally as a 7-seater. And I was really surprised, just like with the Kia EV9, its corporate sibling, at how much space there is, even when the third row of seats is up. The Ioniq 9 manages to offer here. That's just truly fantastic, isn't it?
That's really cool, yeah.
Because here you can really place nice big suitcases side by side, plus the frunk, plus maybe a few things you store in the car, and then you might even embark on a decent vacation trip with up to 6 people. Whether something is possible on the roof or maybe even on the tow bar, more on that later as always. If he says, well, I only need the third row of seats occasionally, like to take some friends home, or to bring them to sports activities, then you can conveniently fold the third row of seats electrically and have at least 620 liters of spacious storage area. Supposedly, there should also be a useful partition net available at the back, so that the luggage doesn't unexpectedly end up flying through the second row of individual seats. That's obviously really convenient in many ways. There's also a parcel shelf you can securely fasten there, effectively obscuring the view into the trunk from prying eyes. These are all exceptional features that Hyundai has carefully and thoughtfully designed with great consideration. Yeah, if you say, man, I need to somehow here. Transport the cabinet from a Schwere Modi, then you can even do it electrically. You can fold down the individual seats in the second row, adding a stylish and elegant touch to the overall design. And then please take a look at how much volume there is. I believe it's already nearing a total volume of 2,000 liters. You can quite easily handle a couple of moves with that generous amount of space, despite all the periods. Praise for the Hyundai, we must still mention a few points of criticism too. I don't get it. You put in so much effort. You offer such a quality material mix. You're considering how to sustainably integrate recycled materials into modern vehicle construction. And then you add a big, thick layer of plastic over on the side here? Or how do you usually say it, Stefan? Plastic. You know, we could possibly even consider getting a really nice decorative carpet made from old fishing nets or recycled PET bottles. That it's just covered with a bit of fabric and can't scratch. That would truly be brilliant and possibly an idea for the upcoming model upgrade. At the rear, there's a handy Schuko socket, allowing us to take some extra power from there too. Otherwise, you also have the vehicle-to-load capability included, which allows you to conveniently draw up to a maximum of 3.6 kilowatts from the AC outlet. Folds down with power.
Folds up electrically again.
That's exactly how it should definitely be. That's really quite awesome. It's like a real performance, don't you think?
Insane.
With Hyundai, the only thing not folding electrically are the third row headrests. That's still possible manually, at least up, but that doesn't matter. Because what goes up electrically, Stefan?
Closes electrically.
Ah, that's how it's supposed to be, with a pleasant Korean beep. Now let's see if the soft loss is working. Oh yeah, soft close on the tailgate, awesome. Let's move on to the roof rails and thus to the possibility of a roof rack. I found 75 kilos, Stefan. Did you find anything different?
No, just that.
Please feel free to comment if you have another value, as no official figure seems to be available currently. However, what there will indeed be available is an optional trailer hitch. It can indeed be stopped, so everyone brace yourselves, it just can't manage a ton. It can tow 2.5 tons of brake trailer load on a 12% incline, not 1.5, not 1.8, not 2, not 2.2. And I just have to say hats off, finally things are moving in the right direction. Because this type of vehicle is typically used by people who want to tow their boat or transport their trailer to various destinations. A special shout out goes to our Dutch friends. They might also want to tow their horses, indulge in equestrian sports, or even potentially using it commercially with construction machines hooked on, and you simply need towing capacity in electromobility for that. And 2.5 tons, that's using brakes. So I truly believe this is absolutely the correct direction to go in. On the outside, we've shown you everything. Let's take a look inside. And here in the subject, we even have double glazing. That means two panes that are joined by a film designed to ensure they remain firmly together. To ensure a quiet and peaceful interior, Hyundai has added extra insulation in the wheel arches, A-pillars, and various other essential areas of the vehicle. At least that's what they mention in the press release. However, before we continue step by step, we will test this with you during the driving event and in our comprehensive driving report. And then we measure the interior noise, and then the truth of the Ioniq 9 will reveal itself. Yes, the door panel here is soft, foam-backed there. Plastic, nicely textured, and because it's maybe in a kind of grey anthracite, I actually find it quite chic.
It looks great.
Though they might have added a nice faux leather detail with a decorative stitch there as well. Ultimately, it comes down to personal taste, so decide on what you like the best. Yes, everything here is nice faux leather, sometimes in a two-tone style with some perforation. Here nicely highlighted with ambient lighting, softly padded and cushioned faux leather. Might have been a tad softer considering that many of you really like to engage in the fine art of elbow sports, both from the top and bottom. And you'd certainly want that to be a bit soft. This feels like it's made of plastic, not really metallic at all, although this part over here could maybe be a bit more on the metallic side. I want to make certain I'm not saying anything incorrect. This section is for the seat memory function. You have a couple of options to save the seat settings both here and also above. Do you then probably have a genuinely advanced and quite modern seat massage function, which we definitely want to thoroughly test together with you right here on the side. I also definitely need a bit of a massage myself from all the intense and rather exhausting filming. Nah, just kidding aside. Down here, it continues with soft plastic. This part here is hard plastic, but with the light grey color, I find it stylish. This appears to be a kind of recycled plastic, somewhat more permeable. It might get a bit tight going through this edge here.
Yep, with a big bottle.
Exactly, and here I'm really missing some kind of material like a felt or a rubber mat or something similar, so that there is no rustling or clattering going on here at all. I really have to keep saying that. And quite simply, it's a Bose sound system in its very best form. It's plastic once more, yet with this particular coating, it genuinely looks almost metallic. In the end, it's more about the look than whether it's really plastic, which we don't actually have. Hyundai, I don't get it. In such a premium SUV, it's just kind of soft close.
No.
Well, I would have liked that feature somehow, and even if hopefully it were available for an additional charge, because just making a door like that is indeed a bit too simple. Welcome to the interior of the Ioniq 9. If I happen to be speaking a bit more unusually than usual, it might perhaps be due to the intense and exceptionally pleasant seat massage. Just kidding around. What sort of cool interior design has Hyundai crafted here?
I must say, it looks super cool from the back as well. A nice cockpit, definitely.
Let's go chronologically. We have a nice big fat head-up display here where all the essential information is projected through the windshield. Up here it's a soft plastic that almost feels a bit like faux leather. I find it stylish. And then we have two monitors here, slightly curved and driver-oriented. So you can see it well because, of course, in Hyundai the driver is still at the center of the action. This doesn't mean that the passengers aren't just as important before an armada of comments comes in again. The steering wheel can, of course, be adjusted in height and distance. And what on earth is this thick, chunky steering wheel that looks just like the ones in Land Rovers? You know, with tactile buttons, paddles, and rotary controls. Once you're used to it, you can easily operate it blindly, which I think is awesome. On the left side, you'll find the latest assistance systems, like adaptive cruise control, steering assist, and lane keeping assist. Lane change assist, yes, definitely, yes, of course. It also comes equipped with the highway drive assist 2 minimum, if not perhaps even 2.5. And then we've got a lovely hubcap. It's made of plastic, but the LED lights, which are supposed to reflect the battery level, somewhat obscure that particular fact. Let's test if the horn works. Oops, it sure does. And once more, we see this lovely two-tone design in dark grey anthracite. I find the light grey look amazing.
That looks really good.
And that feels good too. Yes, windshield wiper lever on the right side, turn signals and lights on the left side. And down here, how could it be otherwise? The big fat dog stick where you usually have the route for Christmas. Here you have the route for the driving modes and the start, stop, on, off switch. There's some nice storage here, but it feels like lacquered plastic. Then we've probably got something here like a calligraphy set. It's got this classy, elegant look. I wasn't sure at first. I actually thought it was something like forged carbon, but it's not. It's like silver and crafted. Looks awesome too. Again, nicely done with the ambient light. Then we should have a UV compartment somewhere here where we can disinfect something. That's pretty nice too. We already know that from the Hyundai Santa Fe. Here's another storage compartment. Here we have some really nice manual air vents. We also have, exactly as you would expect, a climate control zone where it's quite convenient to nicely heat the seats. Seat ventilation is available, massage stays good, driver-only mode for solo trips, heated steering wheel. I really think all of this is absolutely incredibly outstanding, and of course you can effortlessly ensure that both sides mirror each other using the sync function. Yes, one level down here, then the UV light for turning on and off. Where would it be? Probably down here in this compartment, right? What do you think, Stefan? Where could it be?
Oh.
Yes. We haven't received any information yet, but we'll definitely find out for you by the test drive at the latest. Have a nice storage area here where the passenger could perhaps place their phone, but unfortunately without a charging function. I would have liked 2 inductive chargers. I'll show the first one soon. And here we have the lid to happiness, a 12-volt connection that handles 150 watts, so you can place a cooler bag or box here. These USB-C ports are capable of delivering up to 100 watts.
That's fantastic.
You know, especially when I'm writing for the T&E magazine, when I'm editing your videos, I can nicely power my big chunky MacBook Pro with the right amount of electricity. That doesn't work in every electric car. It's important to mention that again here. And it's even better that Hyundai had the foresight to think of that. By the way, you can actually slide the center console up to 20 centimeters, and don't let your mind go elsewhere as it can move both forward and backward as needed. It seems it doesn't work with this particular unit, most likely because someone has previously tampered with it somehow. By the way, this is what the Ioniq 9 key to happiness looks like. For those who might need a little information. Chic, 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 right? 2 cup holders, an inductive charging pad here, with near-field communication function. So with the Ioniq 9, you also get the digital key, then probably via smartphone, a chip card, or like here with the key. Good. Here are the drive modes. Eco, normal, sport, my drive, where you decide. Then it blinks like this. Really cool, huh? Oh, period. It's like a club, isn't it? So then we press push and we head into the terrain. Snow, mud, and sand. The vehicle undoubtedly possesses a certain off-road capability. Yes, we of course have sophisticated camera systems built in on board. You can see this here very, very beautifully. Then also, where you have the side view so you don't scratch your nice rims, which you can also adjust again, especially in the rear area with the guiding lines or even in a 180-degree view. It's quite interesting when you exit from a driveway. You have, of course, the 3-dimensional aspect. By the way, we're here at Hyundai Germany in Frankfurt at the corporate headquarters, and we're taking an investigative look at what other nice things might be available for you, namely a hydrogen car. Yes, so something new is coming out. I'm curious. It's going to be called Initium. I've already filmed the concept K for you, which appears in my short. Feel free to comment if you're interested because it should also come to market in the first half of 25, and we'd maybe like to invite you to that, and I'd be really interested to know if you'd be up for it. Yeah, and otherwise, we basically have a huge storage compartment here. Stefan, you don't need to put in much effort now. Hold on, stop. Go back with the camera. Because, and this is such a cool idea, we have the double mechanism. And it's not just camera friendly, but when I'm sitting in the back and sleeping and want to grab something from here, then I noticed you can easily access this compartment from behind. And you probably think that's the end of the line. Nope, it indeed goes down much deeper. And take a look here, even at the front, almost like you've got a hidden compartment. So if he ever wanted to hide something from his wife or the kids.
With short arms. Yeah.
Yeah. That could potentially be a way to go about it. I really appreciate this double division as it effectively creates 2 distinct levels, which I find quite impressive. Yeah.
Right, so as I said,
He could open from the back or, naturally, in the classic way from the front. I truly believe that's simply such an amazing idea. Plus the adjustability, allowing you to place a cooler bag in the front, or the lovely lady can easily put her large handbag, or Steffi, his small men's bag. That really makes it all so practical. Don't fidget around there too much. I absolutely love saying this, as the Spaniard puts it, al canto. It's just such an exceptionally great fabric, and something else I find really impressive, that Hyundai doesn't always do everything in black Alcantara, but sometimes in light grey as well. That's truly elegant. I made sure to wash my hands thoroughly so I wouldn't accidentally mess anything up, because right up here we also have the handle to happiness. First, there's this excellent sunshade that very effectively dims the surroundings when you'd like to have less bright light coming in. And then just take a look at how swiftly and efficiently this sunshade opens. Plus, instead of just a fixed glass roof, there's a sleek sliding one, as it really should be for a proper SUV. And what I've often criticized in various SUVs, because an authentic SUV really should have a
sunroof?
panoramic sunroof featuring an advanced and efficient opening mechanism.
My God.
God, that has to be said too. It just needs to come out, because some people just put a glass roof up and then they think that should be sufficient for the electric cars. And that's also the quick selection feature to easily restore the sunshade once you've gotten your fill of fresh air, don't you think?
Yes.
And you don't have to press here and there or touch and slide around? No, such a straightforward light grey button leading to happiness effortlessly solves all problems already. The view through the passenger door gives you another look at this. What I find very beautiful, very open, and very interesting. Spatial concept in connection with this two-tone design again. I have to say I like it more and more. I think I wouldn't have been the type to identify with dual colors before, but somehow it's chic, right?
Yes, it's nice, quite different.
And also, the different levels. Look here again with a little compartment where you can store something. So you've got tons of space here. Just look at how deep it goes. It's about a hand's depth, perfect for storing several things. Furthermore, you've got the storage area here. Then you've got the glove compartment into happiness. Sure, maybe some felt or a carpet would have been nice, but if it doesn't have that, then he just doesn't have it. What's the use of all the chatter? Well, what you also have here is even then, of course, the comfort seats. That means you can here, as you know from the Ioniq 5 back in the day, also use the power nap function. You have great support here with nice leather seats providing good support in the lumbar area as well. Thigh support, you also have the option to, let me show you once more the convenient power nap function at the side here, which you can additionally adjust. And yes, there's slight shoulder padding up here. Where is he actually taking me now? I believe that was actually not the right function. However, now it tends to become quite dangerous.
Okay.
Here we have a nice comfort headrest feature. That's sometimes the case when you're doing a one take. That didn't always work out just the way you planned, Bornman. Plus, as you can see, it's all really nice and soft. Perforated for airflow, it is heated and is equipped with some truly excellent massage features. I just have to say, Hyundai, great job. And the Alcantara goes up to here. And then it's hard plastic here. I know, even if it drives around for 34 years without rattling and stuff, then there are people like me driving through Strelitzer Strasse on the cobblestones where it might start to rattle a little if the seatbelt isn't being used. And I know some of you will be sitting there again getting excited. Hey, third row, ollie back there and all, those are always the coolest clips. Yeah, but a cool car naturally comes with impressive features designed to make getting in, like what they call an easy entry, as straightforward and seamless as possible. And of course, at Hyundai, it's fully electric first. And whether that's also suitable for Ollie's 99.9 kilos. Certainly, then we'll see as he'll effortlessly swing himself inside. Hello, this is starting off quite smoothly, and then he's already sitting back here in the third row.
Yeah, look, quick and easy.
Wow, USB-C port, 100 watts, that's really awesome, right?
Surely good, yeah.
Check this out. It's like a business class seat here with 2 cup holders and an armrest area. Missing center armrest, as always back here. And even with my height of 1.85 meters, despite the sloping roof,
Yeah.
Look, a fist loosely on the
easy.
circle. Please take a look at this Alcan grater on the seat grater.
But see, you know what I like? This little gimmick. We're glad about the belts rattling. Look, you can simply tuck it behind here, and then it's securely fastened.
Yes, it actually works in the third row too.
I so love it.
That's genuinely quite a great thing. And I imagine that for a relatively short journey for my long legs and my obesity perhaps isn't the best row choice. Well, better not press it. But that's really cool. We also have air vents in the roof here, even for the second row of seats. I think it's a really cool position, especially in summer or winter. Feel free to write in the comments whether you prefer it from the roof or from the side. Some people simply can't stand it when it gets beamed directly onto the top of their head like that. But that's actually all really well done. I'd say I'll crawl out of here now. That's not particularly thrilling. Let's take a look at the second row.
Skeptical?
Well, probably, if a gentle fawn sits in front of me, it might even fit.
Yeah, that's fine. Look, you're not hitting it with your knees now, Annalena. Up front, you can actually sit because the seat leans back a bit.
Yeah, so I have to say, just like with the Kia EV9. From the same company, I'm super impressed by these space concepts. And please remember, no offense, dear friends at Volvo, but with the EX90, you just don't have that space in the third row of seats at the back.
No.
And you also don't have this headroom. And you also don't have the trunk size. So Hyundai has really managed to take these 5 meters and 6 in length to optimally use them for passengers and luggage. And if that's the case, then I think you should be able to say it.
The colleague definitely has it here. You can hear it, I think. Some are working, others are sleeping.
It's great here. I always discovered this power nap feature and stuff.
Yes, good.
So you can drive me now, and then we can head from Frankfurt with the Ioniq 9 to Neustrade, right?
Do you think he'll miss you?
Pretty cool road trip vid, huh?
Nobody misses that car either.
Nah, I just can't see that happening because honestly, he's not all that impressive, you know? Let's have some fun at his friends. Look how awesome I can sit here. A center armrest here, then the armrest here. Look, a curtain you can raise and lower like this. Take a look, see, Hyundai finally managed to get it right this time. Typically, if you remember the last time I pulled up this curtain, you always had to awkwardly adjust it from the backside. Also with the Hyundai Santa Fe, that's right. Check out the video on the plug-in hybrid. So you had to hook it in here, and with the Ioniq 9, the designers just thought to themselves, nah, this process could definitely be way more straightforward. And then you have a nice little curtain right here. Many of you are curious if the window can indeed be entirely covered. Absolutely, I find that really awesome too, because then Olli can really enjoy himself when he's driving up and down the famous Maximilianstraße in Munich and have a little bit of fun with it, right?
Certainly.
That's almost like a state visit, isn't it, right? Kind of has that Land Rover style. Yeah, sure. When the king drives through the streets of Munich, right? Yeah, Stefan, why don't you come over to this side and let's have a look at the interior together. What kind of brilliant room concept is this, please? Look at how much space I have here. The seat's all the way back and low. You know me, I always sit snugly in the front of the driver's seat. How much space is there? The passenger seat is set to the B pillar as usual, just like we always do, and it's simply brilliant. And I also find that these seats are just super comfortable. She definitely needs to try sitting in it, with and without the power nap function. There's also a version where you can rotate the seats around to face each other. That's awesome. That's also what we demonstrated with the Kia EV9, right? We've got the 3-zone climate control, or rather here, 5 zones. That means we've essentially got another separate zone back here specifically tailored for the rear section of the vehicle. But then it's 1, 2, 3, 4 zones, right? You can't adjust anything in the back now. I guess there are 3 zones. Yes, you can change the temperature here. And look, in the back you also have seat ventilation as well as seat heating, both adjustable in 3 stages. That's quite nice. What's really missing here is some kind of massage function. But well, that's like nitpicking at the highest possible level.
But otherwise, everything looks super high quality. Look.
USB-C ports like these here. In the seat area, we also recognize this from other vehicles. This is just hard plastic here. Well, this might not be so perfect now. It's such a stiff strap here, but you can also nicely tension something behind it. As I mentioned earlier, the lid flips up. There's an additional compartment down below. Definitely, we actually had a small refrigerator fitted inside the NIO, if you remember. Yeah, it would be really cool if this thing here was somehow air-conditioned, maybe through the AC or something.
That would be cool, yeah.
It's an incredibly cool room concept for a variety of family styles. With 6 seats, you receive 4 ISOFIX points in total, 2 here and 2 in the third row, providing both ease of use and significant flexibility. So theoretically, you can transport 4 children in car seats. I'm quite a fan of this, so feel free to comment below, especially if you're mums and dads. Is the ISOFIX attachment on the passenger seat something that's important to you? There are quite a few fathers and mothers out there who prefer to have their child sitting right next to them while they're driving. And some manufacturers do offer the option to have ISOFIX on the front passenger seat as well. Others, unfortunately, not so much. It would be really interesting to understand how you guys evaluate that. I truly have to say, even if I get into some raving here, the Ioniq 9 just has that certain something thoughtful if you don't like it, okay? If he says, hey, here and there, the mix of materials, okay? But Hyundai is a brand that uses recycled materials, emphasizes sustainability, and values quality. And you might have to make some compromises here and there with the material mix. We're also becoming more relaxed about plastics and other materials. Yes,
Because we see it everywhere these days. That also adds to it.
it's quite likely we won't be able to alter it much unless you very clearly express it in the comments, since I truly believe in that idea, and you can really tell through various expressions. It is clear that, naturally, people from the respective company or manufacturer sector read your comments and, of course, convey this information to the developers and designers. Because your feedback is truly immensely valuable, and anything you can think of regarding the Ioniq 9, please actively share it in the comments section below. We've shown you everything on the outside and inside. Normally, I'd walk through this door now and transition with you into the driving report. I sincerely apologize, but unfortunately, both you and we need to be patient for a bit longer until it's hopefully all set and ready to drive by the time spring arrives. Yeah, many will wonder, man, Ollie, you've shown us everything in sky and green. Klingelab green also matches the car. Additionally, the 5Ss, lean, clever, fast, and charming. Yet, what is the price?
So what's the price then?
And sometimes I don't understand it with the manufacturers either. There's no price.
Not yet. It's supposed to be available by the middle of the year.
Availability by summer 2025. And then there'll be a price, of course. Logical, makes sense. But there's no price today. The only thing we can actually do is to sort of subtly look towards our corporate sibling, the EV9. And it starts off at approximately the early to mid €60,000 range for the basic model. I can quite easily envision that the Ioniq 9 might also start somewhere around the early to mid €60,000 range as well.
That would be nice.
So, and I'm obviously hoping that we'll get there with attractive leasing and financing terms, so you then have the chance, depending on your budget, to perhaps call such a chic car in your desired configuration your own. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch. I hope you found the video enjoyable and consider giving it a thumbs up. Please check if you are already a part of the Simply Electric community. If not, we would truly love your generous support by subscribing. This is free for you, but it helps us tremendously to be able to show you such great videos more often in the future. And make sure to remember to ring the bell so you don't end up missing the Ioniq 9 test drive review. Thank you for watching, stay healthy, and see you soon. Your Ollie. You know, we didn't even look.
Yeah, if he's driving one of those fancy cars around somewhere.
Just hold on a second. Didn't he actually?
He's plain.
He's never.
Look at that. I'm thrilled. Such a beautiful child.
It's possible without it. We're slowly getting there. Oh, and by the way, there's something I also forgot to mention. Come here. Hyundai is already paying close attention to us about the rear window wiper. Take a look. He's actually up there, just like we were talking about before.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.